Q5398. During pre-flight preparation, weather report forecasts can best be obtained by means of contacting the A. Weather Forecast Office, WFD. B. Air Route Traffic Control Center. C. Pilot's Automatic Telephone Answering Service. The correct answer is A. Weather Forecast Offices, WFOs, are operated by the National Weather Service, NWS, and provide weather forecasts, warnings, and advisories for specific areas. Pilots can contact a WFO by phone, email, or through the NWS website to obtain the most up-to-date weather information for their flight. Air Route Traffic Control Centers, ARTCCs, are operated by the Federal Aviation Administration, FAA, and provide air traffic control services for high-altitude and en route flights. ARTCCs do not provide weather forecasts, but they can provide pilots with information about weather conditions along their planned flight route. Pilot's Automatic Telephone Answering Service, PATS, is a service that provides pilots with weather information over the phone. PATS is not as reliable as contacting a WFO or ARTCC, but it can be a convenient option for pilots who do not have access to other weather sources. 5399. The most current en route and destination weather information for an instrument flight should be obtained from the A. Flight Service. B. ATIS broadcast. C. Notices to Air Missions publications. The correct answer is A. Flight Service Specialists, FSS, are trained to provide pilots with weather information, flight planning assistance, and other aviation-related services. They can provide pilots with the most current weather information for their flight, including en route and destination weather, weather forecasts, and weather advisories. ATIS broadcasts are automated weather reports that are broadcast on a continuous loop at most airports. ATIS broadcasts typically include information about the current weather conditions at the airport, the current runway in use, and any pertinent weather advisories. Notices to Air Missions, NOTAMs, are a type of aviation advisory that contains important information about aeronautical hazards or other conditions that may affect the safety of flight. NOTAMs are typically issued by air traffic control, ATC, facilities, or by other government agencies. While ATIS broadcasts and NOTAMs can provide pilots with useful weather information, they are not as comprehensive as the weather information that can be obtained from flight service. For this reason, I recommend that pilots obtain their weather information from flight service prior to any instrument flight. 5405. What wind conditions would you anticipate when squalls are reported at your destination? A. Rapid variations in wind speed of 15 knots or more between peaks and lulls. B. Peak gusts of at least 35 knots combined with a change in wind direction of 300 or more. C. Sudden increases in wind speed of at least 16 knots to a sustained speed of 22 knots or more for at least 1 minute. The correct answer is C. Squalls are characterized by sudden and intense bursts of wind associated with convective weather systems. These wind conditions can be hazardous for aviation operations. C accurately describes the wind conditions typically associated with squalls, where there are sudden increases in wind speed of at least 16 knots, reaching a sustained speed of 22 knots or more for at least 1 minute. 5402. The Remarks section of the Aviation Routine Weather Report, METAR, contains the following coded information. What does it mean? RMK FZDZB 42 WSHFT 30 FROPA? A. Freezing drizzle with cloud bases below 428 feet. B. Freezing drizzle below 4,200 feet and wind shear. C. Wind shift at 30 due to frontal passage. The correct answer is C. The Remarks section of the METAR report contains coded information about the weather conditions at the airport. In this case, the code WSHFT 30 FROPA indicates that there has been a wind shift of 30 degrees due to a frontal passage. This type of wind shift can be dangerous for aircraft, as it can cause turbulence and gusty winds. Pilots should be aware of the potential for wind shifts when planning a flight. Here is a breakdown of the code. WSHFT equals wind shift 30 equals the amount of the wind shift. In degrees, FROPA equals frontal passage. Frontal passage is a weather event that occurs when two air masses of different densities meet. This can cause the wind to shift direction and speed up. Frontal passage can also bring with it rain, snow, or other types of precipitation. If you are planning a flight, it is important to be aware of the potential for wind shifts and frontal passage. You can check the weather forecast and listen to ATIS or contact flight service to get the latest weather information. 5403. What is meant by the Special METAR weather observation for KBOI? SPECI KBOI 091854Z3 2005 KT1 and a half SMRA BR OVC 007 17/16, a 2990 RMK RAB 12. A. Rain and fog obscuring 2/10 of the sky. Rain began at 1912 Z. B. Rain and mist obstructing visibility. Rain began at 1812 Z. C. Rain and overcast at 1,200 feet AGL. The correct answer is B. The observation was made on the 9th of the month, 1854 Zulu time. According to SPECI KBOI Special Report for KBOI 091-8542. Winds are 320 degrees true and 5 knots at 32005 KT. Visibilities are 1.5 statute miles in rain and fog, and the ceiling is 700 feet above ground. The dew point is 16 degrees Celsius and the temperature is 17 degrees Celsius. Rain started 12 minutes after the hour, according to the altimeter, which reads 29.90 RMK, RBL2.